Hello, welcome back to the forum. In this video, we're going to continue our series of working on this Yanmar 1500. In case you missed the last video, check out the playlist, it's there. But we were able to get some fuel flowing a little bit, and we fixed a leak without having to buy a new hose, so that was a lucky break. In this video, we're going to keep tackling it. We're going to take a look at the fuel filter to see if we can get fuel flowing through there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, now back to where we were. Let's get this open. I have a new container. That's what I was using to catch that leak earlier. Get our drain open here. There we go, nothing coming out. Open our valve. Nothing is flowing. Set this down underneath in case it decides to start flowing. Nope. Don't think opening this will make a difference, but maybe it'll give it enough air to start dripping into it. And that filter just could be terribly clogged. So let's open this and see if we're getting fuel to at least the housing for the filter. Ah, there we go. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it started to drip a little bit. I'm getting fuel out of here, so now I'm getting fuel to the housing. That's good. Close this back up. Getting a steady drip here. Okay. It's slowly dripping faster, so I think our filter is filling up. Let me see if I just unscrew this. Will it? Nope. Sorry, thought if I just unscrewed that, it would do something. Ah, look at that. Oh, okay, so that was it filling up. So if I close this, like so, and just leave it to sit, then I reopen it, we get flow. Okay, so we know we're getting fuel here now. Great. And we also learned that in line for our ball valve back here is open, which doesn't surprise me. All right, now we have a banjo bolt. Oh, it's out of your view. Let me reposition you so you can see it. Okay, so out of the filter housing, through our hose, which as you can see is in need of replacement, but we've covered that, is this banjo bolt up here that feeds into the pump housing. So what I want to do is, I've learned my lesson, I'm going to clean this off, and then I'm going to crack that banjo bolt and see if we have fuel coming out of it here. We're technically still higher than the fuel tank, which is back here, so we should see, we should get gravity fed through here. I just don't know how long this is going to take to fill up, the fuel filter is going to take to fill up. So let me go grab a little wire brush. Actually quite glad I decided to clean that because there is a screw right here that I might be able to use to bleed that line. So instead of having to break the bolt, sorry, the nut that's holding the banjo bolt on there, I can actually use a Phillips head and try breaking that. So that's what I'll do first and see if we can get some fuel to flow. My. Nope. I see it's got almost a hex head on it. I'm gonna see if I can find a bit that'll fit it because this is so poorly rounded off I'm not going to be able to do that with the screwdriver. It's a little loose. Let me grab my smaller set. All right, I tried metric and standard. The closest I can find is a 10 millimeter. So let's see if it'll work. Don't think it broke. I think it slipped. No, it broke. Oh, nice. All right, so I've got that loose. Let's see if we get any fuel there. I'm probably going to back that out completely, because it's going to take a while, especially with that filter. Yep, completely empty in there. Okay. Set this back, because I don't want it fully open. I want a bug or something to crawl in there and get into our injection system. On a different note, looks like our fuel filter is leaking as well. So while we were working on that banjo bolt up here, discovered that this guy's leaking. It's leaking from the back side. So I don't know if it's because it's loose. Oh, that is quite loose. That's barely hand. Look at that. Okay, that might be where it's leaking from, so let me try tightening that up just a little bit. There we go. See if that solved our drip. So the person that I purchased this from, the previous owner, gave me quite a few of the filters and other things that are needed to go with it, but I don't think that he gave me a new separator. I'm assuming that's what it is. I didn't actually look to see if that's a fuel water separator. So I might have to order one of these. But it looks like tightening that up did make a difference for us and stopped our leak for now. So this has sat for a while. We were able to get the leak to stop here, but I'm not seeing anything coming out of this valve. So I'm going to try to get that banjo bolt off and drop this below, hopefully not causing more leaks, because this tube is pretty cracked, and see if we can get fuel flowing from here to here, because I'd rather prime this by gravity and then try to turn the engine over to see if we get anything coming out of the pump. There we go. All right. Well, that came off easier than I thought it was going to. Thank you, God, for that. Okay. Maybe dust that off a little bit. All right, a little less trash. I think that if I let it set long enough, fuel may flow up to this banjo bolt, but I'd prefer, hopefully also what that was. But I heard something fall out. Okay, lift that up, slowly turn it. Trying to see inside of the banjo bolt, see how dirty or corroded it is. I'll have to get a different light. But for now, we'll just turn it like this. Fuel is open, by the way. Let's see if we can get any fuel to flow. Oh, here's my light. You can see in there. Oh, yes. It's a bit of trash. It's also bone dry. So we haven't gotten any fuel flow through this filter in some time. Take a look inside of the pump while I'm at it. Well, that looks a bit cleaner. Still some rust in there. I do not want to pull off that pump because that is a mechanical pump, which is going to require specific timing, and that's not something I'm willing to mess with right now. What I need is some sort of vacuum on this hose to pull the fuel through the filter. And we know that we have fuel in the filter. Let's check that one more time, just to make sure. Maybe we don't, because that's not a whole lot of fuel flowing. Let's try taking this fuel filter off and see what we're working with. Maybe this filter is just so clogged based on the trash we saw in the fuel tank that it won't flow through here. That's why we're not getting anything here. All right, turn off the fuel. Goodness, well, that doesn't want to come off. I can, however, get this off. I've also noticed that there's a ton of trash here, so I'll definitely need a new O-ring for that. Ah, we've got lots of fuel there. I'm gonna dump this back in the tank. Okay, I see. This makes it a bit more obvious what's going on. There's a little rubber piece here. You can see there's trash in it. Again, all the fuel system needs to be cleaned. I get that, but I want to get her running first. There's this little rubber piece here that when you unscrew this, like so, it opens that rubber piece. So what we were seeing as far as flow isn't indicative of the cleanliness of the filter. It's basically the restraint of that little rubber piece right there. See if we can get this filter off. Might need, just out of curiosity, I'm going to open it to see what's flowing. Nothing, just drip, drip. Okay, yeah, our filter may be more clogged. Let me grab a wrench to get that off. Clean it so it doesn't slip. Squeaky clean. Oh no. This might not work. It won't go past the bracket in the back. Oh, maybe. No, it's not acting like it wants to. I don't have grips that will take this off. Maybe I'll have to loosen the housing. There we go. I'm going to loosen the housing, see if I can get just enough slack behind that bracket, but still be able to use these bolts. Let's see. Huh. Okay, that didn't give us any clearance whatsoever. I loosen them just a smidge more. Oh wait, is there a nut back there that's rotating? No, not on this side. Let's try this side. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. There's a nut on the back side. Let me go grab a wrench. Go. Yes, 11 millimeter. Huh, interesting. There we go, that's what we wanted. But look, this piece isn't even attached to that piece. Well, it's an interesting find. Okay. There we go. Slide Slide that through there. Go. Goodness. Okay. Man, this refuses to budge. Yeah. My word. Refuses to budge. There's no bolt or anything on the inside. I'm feeling to see if there is. Might have to take this off completely. Put it in the vise to get this off. It's been on there for so long. Really prefer not to do that. Because that just opens ourselves up for more leaks. The only other thought I had is maybe try tightening that back up. With the wrench on there. Oh, I thought our 11mm was still back there. There we go. All right, that holds that snug. This has some leeway. The only other thought I had is that this is supposed to unscrew the other way. So let me get this repositioned like so. Goodness. All right, let's try this way. Just to make sure. Because, I mean, it's on there really tight. Nope. Okay, as much as I didn't want to do this, I'm going to take this off so we can get that filter off because we need fuel to flow. Without fuel flow, nothing else much is going to happen. Okay. I wanted to crack this line, see if it fuel flows right there or not. I think that's what this is for. We'll find the right size eventually. Close. There we go. There we go. Oh goodness. We are twisting our old tube. Try taking this guy off first. Just very curious to see if there's any fuel flowing anywhere through. There we go. Oh wow, that was loose. Oh, I remember. We had taken this off already to see if there was fuel flow. Let me open this up. Seeing some fuel flow, but it's like drips. I'm interested. I wonder if we have a clog here as well. So we'll keep stepping further and further back until we figure it out. But before I snap this cable, let me get this guy loose. There we go. All right, so that's loose. Hopefully that'll allow that to spin. As soon as it decides to. There we go. Now this is loose. This cable will spin. Because what I'm trying to do is prevent cracking what line I know does not leak yet. This is interesting. I was not expecting to have to go this far into it. I thought for sure that the filter would have been clean enough to at least get a test fire. But you learn. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but basically, as I loosen this, the tube now tries to tighten it. Oh, my goodness. All right, got that off, even with my glasses on. Very nice. All right, I'll be back. Okay, now that I've rinsed out my eye, let's see what kind of flow rate we're getting here. Just straight out of the tank. Nothing. Well, that's not what I was expecting. Wow. Like, wow. Okay. I wonder if it's trash in the screen of the tank or if it's this little ball valve is just chock full of trash. I mean, I would expect just much more flow than that. The tube itself is fairly clean. I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but like there's nothing in the tube. So it could be this ball valve. Because we know we had flow back here because I had to clamp it off because it was flowing so fast. Wow. Okay, I was not expecting that. All right. Luckily, we have a different spot on this valve we can try. So I'm going to close that. Let's get that valve loosened up. Now it's a matter of trying to find the right fittings. Okay, there we got one. There we go. Okay, I think I need to think about this bit some more to make sure I'm turning it the right way. Oh, no wonder. This one's the wrong size. I was misled. There we go. That fits a bit better. You might say, well, why are you trying to unscrew it? There we go. Instead of just disconnecting it here. Well, this way, I can always just quickly screw it back together. I know I've said this once already, but I'll say it again. I'm genuinely surprised that we have had to go this far into this teardown just to get fuel delivery. Okay. Let's get my little bucket ready. Ah, there we go. So yes, that answers our question. Our screen inside of the tank must be blocked, because that is very, very slow. It's not going to run a tractor. As you can see, it's nice and clean in there. Might help if I put light on this end. There you go. Nice and clean. So it's definitely not the tube, nor is it the ball valve. If I close the ball valve like so, you can clearly see the little bearing in there. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. There. So this is clean. Our tube's clean. Let's get to looking at that filter and see how bad it is. So I thought of a slightly easier way than I've seen before that might give us the fuel flow we're looking for. In case you're wondering why my voice sounds weird, it's because I've put on a face shield. But basically, we're just going to... Ah, there we go. So I don't know if y'all saw that first blast, but it was definitely not wanting to come out. Ha ha ha. There we go. All right. I'll stop that. Now, ladies and gents, we have proper fuel flow. Hey. Put that back on. There we go. All right. Very good. All right. Well, that worked a lot better than I was hoping it would. Okay, did that more than hand tight though. We don't want to trust that on something that vibrates as much as a tractor. Let's see. Oh. There we go. Beautiful. Get that dried up just to make sure that we don't have a leak, a slow leak. Now, let's make sure we have fuel flow through this end as well. There we go. Yep, perfect. Okay, now, since we've already got this disconnected, let's go ahead and get this fuel filter off so we can put a new one on there. Go. Nope, we need our 11 millimeter. Here it is. There we go. I'm not going to try to take this off. Hopefully I won't have to. I have a flat surface here and against this flange that should give us enough working area. To clamp on. Okay. There we got it. There's our bracket. Take that off. All right, let's finish getting this bracket off of there. Of course, it won't just unscrew. I'll have to go get a wrench. Okay. There we go. Not quite sure how much structural strength this bracket adds, but I'll worry about modifying the tractor later. Okay. Let's put this into the vise. There we go. Not too snug, just snug enough to hold it. There we go. Now let me go try getting my ratchet again. Also going to grab a piece of wood to chalk that up. There we go. Now, if I was tightening this on, I'd screw it this way, so I want to screw it this way, which means I want this on this way. And in this configuration, I can get a much better handle on it. Nope. Still refuses to come loose. I'm actually looking on the inside of it, and it's not that dirty. Try the other way. Nope. All right. Let me grab a clean rag. Get it cleaned off. Also clean the strap here. It's gripping a smidge better. Goodness. I'm going to try the other way just to make sure it's not the left-hand thread. There we go. It thought about spinning. Not weird. My hope is that if I move it back and forth, it'll eventually come loose. It'd really be nice if this vise was screwed down, but I don't have a workbench yet to screw it to. There we go. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it moved. Still moving. There we go. All right. Look at that. Wow. Okay. There we go. What I was trying to show you was the inside. It's not super dirty. Grab my light. But of course, this is on the inside. The fuel flows. The fuel flows the other way. The fuel comes in this way, goes through the filter. Or does it? Yeah, I don't know if the fuel goes in here and comes out of these holes. Yeah, or does it go in the holes and comes out this way? I think maybe it's the other way around. So this isn't that dirty. But since I got it off, I really don't want to put this one back on. All right, let me grab a new one. Well, I lied. I don't have another fuel filter. All I have are oil filters. So what I'll do is just clean this one up, put a smidge of oil on that, and then we'll put it back on there. Now that we've figured out our flow problem, hopefully the filter will be clean enough for us to go through. Trust me, if I had another one, I would put it on there, because I did go through a lot of trouble of breaking this off. But I don't think it will be that hard to put back on again. There we go. I'll go grab a smidge of oil. Okay, get some fresh oil, put it on there. Put some on here too. And we'll just hand tighten this guy. Goodness. And it definitely was a right-hand thread. There we go. And then I'll look up ordering a new one of these. All right, let's get it back on the tractor. Just about to put this on the tractor, and I wanted to show you guys what I found. Let me see if that's coming across. There it is. Now you can see it. That chunk of trash in there. I'm gonna get a pick and pull that out so it doesn't just drop down into our filter. I also realized that I can answer my own question about how this works. So let me take this off right quick. And we can look at the tracing on it. So these are the output ports as indicated by the arrows. See? Output. So these are the import channels there and excuse me, there and there. So the input comes in, goes into here, comes down, goes into our filter and into the separator, goes through those fins and then comes out the top. So this is the output of the filter. So yes, we can see that the filter isn't completely clogged because there is still some white in there. But I'm going to get that trash out here. All right. All I can say is yay for fuel filters. Good, look at that. If anybody knows what that is or what causes this, please let me know in the comments below. There's still a bit of trash in there. Oh my. Trash goes well into there. Might look into getting a whole new filter housing if it's that dirty. Let's see if I can show you on camera. See, it's pretty clogged all the way down in there. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if I can take my air hose and blow that trash out. Let me see. Let me give that a try. Okay, face shield is back on. Trash should come out of that port. Goodness. There we go. We also saw it come out of this port. That was cool. But I wonder if that got rid of all our trash. Give it one more blast. Nope, still getting more trash out of there. I'm also covering this port. There we go. That should have done the trick. Much cleaner. You can actually see that it is much cleaner in there. Okay, and this is nice and clean as well. It's better than it was. Let's go ahead and get our, make sure our path's clean. It's not. There we go. Make sure that's clean. Have oil on our ring. We do. Put this back together. Okay. Hand tight. There we go. Now let's get it on the tractor. Wow. We're working our way through it. I'm so glad that we finally got some fuel flowing, and we know that the tank's good, and we know the ball valve's good, and now we've gotten the filter all cleaned up. So we'll stop here, and in the next video, we'll go ahead and get it attached. If you like this content, please make sure and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more things like this and other farm-related types of videos, please go ahead and subscribe. And remember, stay grumpy, my friends.